I needed to get away from home. Because I know ukuthi abanye abazali ba understand mawuzothi ngifuna ukuphuma ebusuku ngestudio, you know. So I didn't want for them to know the nitty-gritties of how I'm going to make my music and stress them out.
Is the music industry what you've always thought it is, or what are some of the things that you are starting to learn about this industry?
Abantu ohlangana nabegoli is not your family. Like I've learned things like that. Ukuthi at the end of the day, ufike goli uzosebenza, and asibona bangane. Yeah, and you need to be very vigilant and like even protecting yourself and your energy, because not everyone, but most of the time, abantu are looking out for themselves.
The Hustler's Corner, Mzake's Kitchen, Grootman is here, Sbuda is here. I'm quite excited because today we're talking music. Something that really changed my life, something that I'm here because of, you know, as much as I do radio and all these other things. It was all started by one song. It was all started by the music. And today we're having that musical chat. And with none other than, I've been looking forward to this conversation. Ngicela ukubonga kakhulu ukuthi uyinike isikhathi, Princess abakwaziyo bakubiza igama lasekhaya bathi uMakhosazana ngithi. Yes, Makhosazana Princess Masango. Better known as AZANA. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. You were a big part of my childhood.
Ngiyabonga.
I really ngiyajabula ukuba la nanokubona eduze kwami.
This one is yours, son.
Thank
this
you.
One is yours. That's just a gift.
Thank you so much.
That's our
and
gift.
It's nice and cold.
Yes, ma'am. So that's just a gift to you. Congratulations on everything.
Ngiyabonga. You too.
Yeah, ngiyabonga kakhulu. uNkulunkulu has been great in our lives, and we are here in this entertainment thing. You're the new generation. Your music is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Your work is incredible. My interest first is wanting to know, before Ingoma, your upbringing as to what are your roots, where do you come from? You probably might have told the story numerous times.
Yes. Okay, all right. uMakhosazana intombazana yaseChesterville, eone ekhule ekhaya elifudumele elinothando. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a singer and an actress. And I would always tell them, I always knew from a very young age, like, ngisho noma kuthiwa ngixabana nomuntu, noma khona umuntu ongibhulisha ethi wena ngangisho, like ngangingakwazi, do you know who I am? But I would say it as a child, do you know who I am? Like, I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be famous, you know?
Yeah.
As a child, I always knew where my heart was, and that was making music and entertaining. I like entertaining. I'm a performer, so ngikhule nje ngizazi ukuthi ngumculi.
Most parents would always be like, kodwa isikolo qala.
Yes, of course, and I understand that. That was my mom mostly. I would understand that because abazali bethu bakhule kanzima, you know, and bayafuna ukuthi sibe nama futures are bright, and they've also sacrificed a lot for us to even get to esikoleni ney'kole lezi esiya kuzona. So I would understand, yes, it was a big thing. Isikole was a big thing. It still is now, because the industry is inamaqhuma, inama up and down, and umzali uyathanda ukuthi ingane yakhe ibe stable. So yes, school was a big thing then, and it still is now.
And what did you study from when you were young?
I studied in Glenmore Primary, then I went to Westville Girls, then I went to UFS.
UFS, that's Bloemfontein?
Yes, that's Bloemfontein.
Oh, so you're in the Free State. For how long?
I stayed in the Free State for how long? I think it's nearly 2 years.
Okay.
Nearly 2 years.
So had you already started when you were on campus, when you're in Free State?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you're involved in honing your musical talents?
Okay, so I started recording when I was 14, 16, somewhere there. Because the guy next door, kwakune studio eSamsizi. So all the guys, there's always that studio in the neighborhood where abantu befike bezorekhoda khona, and everyone uyayithola laphana ukuthi uthanda ukwenza kanjani yabo when it comes to music. There were hip hop artists, there were all different kinds of artists ngasekhaya. And then because babeyazi ukuthi ngiyakwazi ukucula, babe ngicela ukuthi ngihambe ngiyorekhoda kaMsizi, so ubhuti wami ezohamba nami sirekhode emva lokho sengathi uyi-security guard ngirekhode kuthiwa yes, we just want that voice. And then we leave afterwards. So I started recording at a very young age. I had a book and I was writing, and they hyped me up. Like, I think nakumina uthi ngiyithembe kangaka music kaqala ngisamncane, abantu abaseduze kwami bethi yabo wena, yeah. Yabo. So when I was done with high school, I knew I still wanted to do music, but I knew that I needed my space and I needed to get away from home. Because I know ukuthi abanye abazali ba understand mawuzothi ngifuna ukuphuma ebusuku ngestudio, you know. So I didn't want for them to know the nitty-gritties of how I'm gonna make my music and stress them out, you know, because also mawenza into ingakobonakali iyasabisa kumzali. So I knew that I had to go away from home, so I had to pass very well so I could leave. And wherever I would go, I knew I would end up in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Ngithatha ibhasi from eBloem, mase sengifike lapha e-university, so ngangithatha ibhasi ngize la eGoli ngizorecord.
So you're already making relationships ngaleso sikhathi?
Yes.
Who are some of the people you were working with at the time?
Before even going to Johannesburg, I started with a friend of mine called Sean Cross Music. That's when we made a song called Ngakumbula that wasn't released. It was just released on YouTube. And then I met Sinomsolo on campus. And
you used to study together?
Yes.
Okay.
And at that time, Sinomsolo, I think why say releasile Ingoma, why release Ngikhetha Ngoa, Ngikhetha Loya. That song.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So I said release Leon Ngoma. And he was cool, like he still is now. But like why sent my shows, and one day he invited me to go to one of his shows at night, and then he asked to perform with me. It was pull from a crowd. By the way, guys, this is AZANA, and then wangithatha from a crowd. This is video. Leo video le sayithatha ngatheka abantu, and it reached the right people, and it reached the people that he was working with as well. It was about 2 videos that got me to Johannesburg. Another one was when I had a performance campasini, and I was performing it with someone else at that time, and we posted it. Sishaya irice kanje ngebhodlela. Sicula ingoma yamsakhi. And Sabateko Msaki no Sanal, and it reached them as well. So when they saw these videos, they saw Uti, yeah, she's fit to be in studio. So ngaqonese lapho ke eGoli ngaya go Sanal, ngaya go Disciples of House. We did do Lovers and Best Friends. That was one of the first songs that we did in Johannesburg, is Disciples of House. Yeah.
Lovely. And I also want to know, while you were studying at Blom, what were you studying?
I was studying law.
Law.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. Why did you choose law?
Okay. When we were, I didn't want to ukwenza into engiyengayibona eduze kwami. There was a time where I wanted to be a nurse like my mom, but I also thought of how hard she worked, you know. And little did I know, wonke umuntu usebenza kanzima noma kuthiwa uyi-lawyer, because senginabangani manje abama-lawyers, and I know that they work very hard. So I wanted something that would be something that was better than what I grew up in ngiyibona. And when I looked at the options that I had with my grades as well, I thought law would fit it. You know, it wasn't because ngingakhula ngisamncane ngithi ngifuna ukuba a lawyer. No, it was more of if I had to be stable, this is what I'd choose if the music doesn't work, you know, and it would be something as on keep endlini ukuze ngizohamba ngiyoyenza music.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I chose it.
And as the music is sort of starting to happen, the recordings, they're coming up to Joburg, how are the studies going at the time?
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried.
The focus, ne?
Yeah, the focus was bad. I'm a very not to ukuzizwa but mengifunda ngiyakwazi ukuphasa ngiphase kahle futhi. I've never struggled esikoleni but music I always say ukuthi akekho umuntu ongangenza ukuthi ngingawuthanda music or stop music. I don't see myself. Maybe something that would do that is ingane mese nginazo, but right now angiyiboni into engangivala ku music. So you know nesikole kwayenzeka kanjalo ngavele ngawuthanda kakhulu music at that time, and it into yayingijabulisa okudlula yonke into. You know, so when I got the opportunity to be in a professional studio, I got very excited and I was very happy. And I was like, if my opportunity is now to showcase the talent lam, because no timing kaNkulunkulu ngesinye isikhathi mayikunikeza into now uyayisukumela uthi yazi ukuthina athi ngiyenze manje. So when I then released my first single, Your Love, I wanted to make more music. I wanted to see what I could do, you know. And of course, manje ke sekukhona iskole, nginama buga mangaka.
That you have to read.
I think it's even more than this. I'm not even exaggerating. With law, you guys get so many books. Like, you get a lot of things. And I would look at this, and I would look at music. And yeah, nga choose ukufocus on music at that time, and I was like, yeah, let me follow my heart. And as risky as it sounds, you know, I followed my heart.
How has it been so far? I always say to get an education on campus is not only just about graduating. It's just the type of people that you meet on campus. I mean, look, Usino, you met on campus.
Exactly.
Right? So sometimes it's just being on campus.
Yeah.
Not only the things that you study or you benefit from being in a classroom. Kodwa, just being there for those 2 years, I'm sure it sort of helped quite a lot in how you approach your paperwork in this music thing. Because, you know, the conversations around music has always been about intellectual property, ownership, publishing, record label, admin, and that type of stuff. Are you very involved in your work, or you kind of feel you probably will do at a later stage?
I'm involved.
Yeah.
I think also studying law made me not be scared of paperwork. Like, most of the time, abantu mabekhuluma ama-contracts and bekhuluma ngezinto ezisayinwayo namagama amakhulu, you get scared because you haven't been awukazi uyibone, you know. So when you're in an environment, noma usesikoleni ufunda, you know ukuthi contract iyafundwa, you know, it takes off that fear. So yes, being in school did help. Being around people, seeing ukuthi abantu baphila kanjani, iyayivula nomqondo wakho ukuthi appreciate yonke into onayo in life in general. Like, ukuya esikoleni kuyasiza kakhulu, and ukuya university ke nje kuyasiza because kuyayivula ingqondo. Kuyivula ngendlela because usuke ekhaya ne, and there's not much that you're exposed to, and when you get to see ukuthi emhlabeni kuphilwa kanjani and akasekho umzali wakho, it's an experience that I feel like iyawushintsha umqondo wakho, and it changes your life, you know. Yes.
Is the music industry what you've always thought it is, or what are some of the things that you are starting to learn about this industry that are sort of things that are brand new to you?
I came in the music industry when I was only 19, so I had no perception of it besides the fact that I would be making music.
Yeah.
And I would be making music videos, and I'd be looking a certain way. It was that perception that I had only. I don't think ukuthi ngangazi ukuthi ku music industry ngingathini nje izinto ezenzakalayo. abantu ohlangana nabegoli is not your family. Like I've learned things like that. Ukuthi at the end of the day, ufike egoli uzosebenza, and asibona bangane. Yeah, izwa leyo nto, and you need to be very vigilant and like even protecting yourself and your energy, because not everyone, but most of the time, abantu are looking out for themselves and themselves only, so it's important to always just know that. That's what I've learned about the music industry. Ukuthi zigade, and protect yourself, and uwenze but uqalaze.
Yes. Yeah.
But kwezinye izinto, I wouldn't say ukuthi, now that I've been in the industry, this is my 5th year in the industry, I wouldn't say, oh, I hate the music industry. No, I don't hate it, because futhi angihlanganisi nabantu abaningi. So angizondi nje, ngiright nje mina ngizenzela umusic wami, ngiyela kufanele ngiye khona. Mase ngiyahamba futhi ngiphindele endlini. Like anginayo istory esinedrama esithi usibani wangenza nje, mekukuthi futhi ikhona leyo nto, into esayikhuluma nalabo bantu labo. So nomuntu ongizondayo bandla ngiyaxolisa ngoba mina ngimzondi. I don't feel traumatized by the industry at all at this point.
I like that. So I also like the fact that from when you were young, you sort of were intentional, but that's what you'd like to do one day. How are you handling the fame?
The fame is ayijwayeleki umuntu kuwo wonke umuntu ofikayo kumina ethi makhosazana, ngihlezi ngithuka, like kuba sengathi umuntu osho kokuqala, and baningi asebeshilo, ngisho noma umuntu ebhala icomment ethi hawu makhosazana masango, akujwayeleki. Like njalo umuntu mayisho leyo nto ngibona sathi mhlawumbe uyangidlalisa, like uyadlala, hawu ulaze lapha igama lami, hawu ngiyakwazi wena ngiyakufollowisha. So fame for me ayijwayeleki, and I'm comfortable in people knowing me as well. I don't think ukuthi I feel overwhelmed by people showing love. I'm very comfortable because into engikhule ngiyibona nasekhaya, ekhaya bebengitshisa sengathi ngu-AZANA.
Already?
Yes.
Yeah.
So ngakhula vete nje ngazi ukuthi no, it's natural, I'm different, I'm special.
Most
But yes,
it's got to be reality.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I appreciate wonke umuntu, and akujwayeleki. Like umuntu mayengazi, and expect ukuthi abantu bengazi ukuthi ngubani. So njalo mengena kwi-room abantu bethi ngithi, oh, okay, yes, this is me, and I love it ukuthi ayijwayeleki. Yeah.
Jeez, fame is very interesting. It's very interesting. The
Yeah.
conversation here, fame, that requires its own podcast on its own.
Iphinde ibe tricky futhi fame, because abantu bayitshena ukuthi ulapha phezulu, like bayitshena ukuthi surely because uvela kwi-TV unemali engaka, and wena awunawo amapimple kwi-face yakho, and you don't have inkinga lezi esinazo, for sure wena abakwenzi kanje, kanti no. Like this is just the industry that I'm in. It's who I am. Like it's what mina ngakhula ngifuna ukuyenza. But before that bengikhula njenga wonke umuntu. Namanje izinto engidlula kuzona zifana njengeza wonke umuntu nje. Kade ngisanda ukubona umngane wami wakudala, manje ngisanda umbona manje. Uthi, "Oh, now you're a celebrity." Ngithi mina, "Oh, kubuyazi sis."
Yeah.
I'm not a celebrity. No, ngiphilela impilo nje efana neyakho, ukuthi mina abantu bayayibone yami. And bayayijudge bethi wena unje, uAZANA usegain weight, awusezaqile manje, you changed your hair. That's what it is. But like we all go through the same struggles. Yeah.
The type of home that you come from, how many siblings? Family, big family, small family?
Medium, because I grew up with 3 brothers, and I was the only girl. And then there was my mom and dad.
And last born.
And I'm the last born.
Yo, nice. 3 boys.
Yes.
You are highly protected.
Yes.
Uphethwe kahle nje.
Yes.
That is incredible. Muhle umsebenzi abawenzile, and your mother and father are still alive, right?
My mom is still alive, yes.
Yeah, but still kumbingelela uma and your brothers as well. Muhle umsebenzi bafowethu. No, uyasebenza untombazana. That's incredible. And what happened? You lost your dad?
Yes, I lost my dad last year in
I'm
September.
sorry.
Yes.
What
Thank
happened?
you.
Was he sick?
Yes, he was sick, and uphilile ubaba besemdala, you know, so uphilile. He lived fully, lived a beautiful life with my mother, because bathandana besabancane. So my dad's story is not a sad story at all. Like, it's not sad. Like, we appreciate.
What? That's incredible for a child to grow up with both parents.
Yes.
And you grow up visually seeing a representation of marriage, both parents.
Angithi ile nto le bengisho uthi mawusuphuma emhlabeni, you get to realize how blessed you are kwezinye izinto wena that you saw as normal. Like, I thought it was normal to grow up with a mom and dad, and there was umngani wami who didn't have ubaba wakhe ehlezi esendlini, but as ingane ucabanga ukuthi kukhona mhlambe into yena ayiswelayo, you know, because ekhaya ku right, kukhona uma nobaba. And now that I've grown older, like, I realize ukuthi ngikhule noma nobaba, and I'm so blessed. And nanokuthi ubaba ukhulile waze wafika kulo mnyaka afike kona, no manje oba ngikhuluma uma is probably calling me right now.
Nice.
If she's not, she will in the next hour. And I'm just so blessed, and I know that, and I see it. So yeah.
And how was your relationship that time with your
With
father?
my dad bekumuntu o
Because you were his only girl.
yes, he expected a lot from me, which also is not a bad thing at all. Ubaba ubethanda inhlonipho ukudlula zonke izinto, like ekhaya sikhuliswa ukuthi how you communicate with people is through respect, you know. So you'd even see ngendlela abantu abaseduze kwakhe abamtreata ngakhona, there was just a certain way, and I loved it so much. And I didn't really ngingathini ubaba mina nobaba besifana nokusengathi umuntu oyedwa, like, you know, when you can umazi umuntu ngokumbuka, like understand mayenza into, you understand why they did that thing, and you're just like, yeah, I see you. Like, me and my dad saw each other. He saw me, I saw him.
I got a girl child too, so it's always interesting to see older girls or to hear older girls speak about their fathers.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys had a great relationship. And
Yeah.
but last year is not long ago. It's actually months ago. How has his loss affected you?
It's just realizing impilo, because mina ngake ngashonela ubhuti wami, washona ubhuti wami omdala uZamani when I was only 12.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
So you
I
had a
don't
fourth
think-
brother.
No, he was the third brother.
Oh, so he was the
I
third.
just
Okay.
ngiyambala because he was a part of my childhood, and each childhood is strong like ekhanda lomuntu. So angimkhohlwa uZamani. So I lost my brother at 12, and I because I was young, I was 9. No, I was 12. It was 2012 and I was 9. Yes. And because I was that young, ngangako understand kahle ukuthi yini ukuhamba komuntu emhlabeni. I think ngobaba ngesikhathi esehamba nga understand ukuthi kwenzeka nje, and I think umuntu ongisizile kakhulu ekudileni nokuhamba kwababa bekuma, because explainelile ukuthi kwenzeka nje na ke emhlabeni, umuntu uyafika mase kuba khona futhi isikhathi sokuthi ehambe, and you guys have to accept it. And that's why mensaphila fanele nenze izinto together, like meko Christmas ibuyele ekhaya, you know, appreciate, because it's the journey of life. It also made me want to have children, because now I'm like, if ngizohamba emhlabeni, I'd like nento yami ethize isale. Yayizwa leyo nto?
Legacy.
You know, like I just, and I would like to see how my children look, you know.
Yeah.
Because mhlawumbe ngafana nabantu basekhaya iy'ngane zami. So ukuhamba komuntu is akujwayeleki nakho futhi ngibuye ngivuke ekuseni ngithi, oh my gosh, he's really gone, you know. But more than anything, I don't think I feel sadness now, kakhulu. I feel appreciation. Like, I've accepted and I appreciate, and it's okay. Like, it's okay.
Sure. Ukuhamba kwabazali, guys. I say this all the time, and I know a lot of my audiences have heard me numerous times always say, guys, if you still have both of your parents alive, cherish them, you know, show them that you care about them, tell them you love them. And I do know not all of us have got good relationships with our folks. No matter how bad it is, man, sometimes maybe they're not even giving you a chance to reconcile. Mhlambe bakutreat kabi, kodwa find a way to reconcile and spend as much time as you can with them, because once they're gone, it's never nice, right? Mina, I say losing my father's, I was brought up by my stepfather. I lost my father first many years ago, just before 2010. And then I lost my stepfather in 2017. Kodwa khani ngishaya manje. This is like years later, almost 10 years later.
I've actually heard people say that. People say that it only hit later on in life. Please explain that to me. What made you feel like isiyangishaya manje lento lokuthi ubaba akasekho?
Sometimes when it just happens, iyenzeka ngendlela ehlukahlukene for different people.
Yeah.
Kodwa for mina, uyamluza, you focus on giving them a dignified send-off. You mourn, it hurts.
Yeah.
You start getting used to the fact that they're no longer around. Isikhathi siyahamba uyajwayela ukuthi they're no longer around. Yes, it hurts. Abanye bathi time heals. Kodwa I'm with those who say it does not necessarily heal, but you just learn to live with it. Kodwa mina engicabanga ngakhona ukuthi ngishaya kakhulu manje is because I'm starting to be closer and closer to the age that I knew him as a parent. It's long. I'm that age that he was when he was parenting me. How I used to look at him. Some of the things that I never used to understand
Now
that he
you
used to
do.
go through. Now I'm starting to.
Yes.
So I understand him differently, manje. And I also have got a lot of other things as a man. Serious and important decisions to make that I would like a person like him to be available for me to get those answers from. So I think
that hurts.
Yeah, because that's the only person that you feel they will forever have your best interests at heart and backhander, unashamedly, undoubtedly, and there are no conditions. You know, whether bathanda or abathanda, igazi labo bakuthanda. So you would love to have a person like that to get certain answers from. Although you still have your other parent, which is highly appreciative, and you have to look after the other parent. Kodwa lo umesengekho wayeyindoda. And as a father, nami myself, I would have preferred to have him around and get certain answers.
I understand the part le kakhulu le othe udinga ama-answers ezinye izinto and you realize ukuthi akasekho and ngeke beze bekwazi ukuwa-answerisha lawo ma-question. Something as simple as yesterday I was stopped by Metro Police and there was something that I didn't have. And in my head, the first thing that I thought of was, let me call my dad and ask him, ukuthi lento le kanjani kanjani. Nga realize that, oh my gosh, like I can't ask my dad anymore, you know? So I understand. I get it.
And yours is still fresh. I mean, it's still a couple of months, you know?
Yes.
I can imagine your entire family is still getting to grips with it.
Yes.
You're still getting used to it. And now you'll see, I mean, 10 years from today, 20 years from today, as your kids are now growing, you know, then you just miss them even more. Yeah. But anyway, that's life.
Yes.
So if you still have both parents, guys, just cherish them both. Try and reconcile. I know it's not easy for a lot of you because cases are different, but try. Especially as you're getting older. They are much older. They probably don't have another 40 years to live anymore, and you probably still do. So try as much as you can, you know, to
And is your mom still around?
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's the person that you spoil the most. And that's the person you even go out of your way to spend more time with them
Yeah.
than you ever had.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, because as we grow our
Beautiful.
careers, now we as Monela, you're starting to travel more, you're getting busy with work, ngento zakho nempilo yakho,
Yeah.
and then you're spending less and less time with them as opposed to the amount of time you used
And
to
it's
spend
so
with them
sad.
before.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
we are cool.
Yes.
Yabon? So manje, only now that I'm spending more time trying to spend as
Beautiful.
much time as I can.
Please do.
Yeah. Thank you very much for opening up and talking about your family. Let's get into the music. Ingoma happens. You come to Joburg, uhlangana nabo Sanele, Abosino, very right hands, amazing people. Their sound is amazing. You've been recording. And then the conversations start happening around you recording your first album. Take us through that experience.
What's interesting is that it wasn't even a conversation. Like it was, we came to studio and we just didn't stop working. And the album was made in less than 2 weeks. It was just a matter of time. Like gagui divine timing from uNkulunkulu wasihlanganisa, because everyone who made that album possible was right next to me. Like literally. Like kwakukhona uMpho Wave or noSinomsolo noMthunzi, Claudio and Kenza, Sanal musician, Sandile, Mondise, who was orchestrating the whole thing. Yeah, that's what made it so easy. And nami ngiphume eGoli, ngiphume eBloem, and ngifike eGoli and ngibona iy'pika ezinhle and a professional studio. And I'm like, yes, this is time. And I just didn't sleep. And everyone was like, oh, le energy ufike nayo siyayithanda. And so we would go on and on and on and on until we came to a point, I think, when we had locked in studio very well. There's a day we made 5 songs that day, Claudio and Kenza, because ngafika ekuseni siyenza ingoma ibe mnandi, but singalokho sithi imnandi le ngoma, sasithi next.
Nice.
Senzeng sithi next. Kwakusengathi khona into esasiyibona. Esiyibona ingale sithi yeah bazoyibona, you know. That's how it was made. It wasn't even a conversation. It was so natural. That's why even with working with people, if I see someone in studio that I've never met before, I would never say, angifuna ukusebenza nalo. I think in my head, the reason why this person is probably here, it's because fanele kube khona into econtributayo kulento esiyenzayo. You know, it's for a reason. Everyone in a room ulapho for a reason. So yeah, ngabona njalo kwi first project yami. Nanokuthi futhi, that's how I ended up doing ama-genres amaningi, because they were throwing anything at me. And they were like, okay, we're not sure where to put AZANA, so we're gonna give you this genre. Sibona ukuthi uyakwazi ukuyenza into kule beat le, and I would do it. And I was just happy to make music. And they'd give me another beat and I would do that. That's why my album ended up sounding like that, because we were just trying things out. We were just doing.
And for people who try and box you into genres, how do you express yourself, or even for you to choose a genre in which you put your album? Because you know these organizations, mhlambe it's the DSPs or it's an awards show, you have to submit your album. What do you categorize yourself?
I understand people trying to box, because I've grown to understand that people relate music to their life experiences. So if there's a song, egui Afro pop, for example, Zalabantu, that you really love, and that song gets released, and then the next time AZANA releases, it's not Afro pop. You would think it kind of like, how AZANA useshile kwi-Afro pop manje, usethanda lokhu manje, and thina silana AZANA useshintshile. Ushintshelani ngoba phela bengiwuthanda uZalabantu, ngishade ngawo. You know, so I understand why people would want to box an artist. For me, I also have to choose myself. I love music and I don't like to be boxed as well. So mase kuthiwa sekufanele ngichoose-ke manje between umuntu ngichoose nami ngizoyichoose mina. So at that time, if I like that certain sound, I would like to explore it as well. I remember when soulful, well, piano, now we call it soulful piano, but the piano was known as the boom, boom, boom piano. And I realized that the lock drum sounds like a traditional drum, like the ones from
African
Imandulo.
drum, yeah.
The ones that Namanja, Sasharanje, it sounds the same. And I was like, I wonder why people don't think I fit in Amapiano, because that is African. Like Amapiano is actually African. So when I tried it, it was a bit, when I, not kwabantu kwi audience, but kwabantu within the industry, na kwi space, na kwi studio. Babethi, how, Azana, senze Amapiano. And I'm just like, it's music, you know? Why do you feel like I don't belong there? Because music kwenziwa abantu who were before us, and why do I have to limit myself into what you know me as? Why should I do into right for you? Shuthi phela manje usuyangitshena wena ukuthi ngenzeni ngempilo yami no music wami netalente lami engiphiwe lona, you know? So I understand why people would box, because it has personal reasons. But for me, if I resonate with the sound and I want to explore it, I do that.
You've been one of the most versatile artists this country has ever produced, and you don't miss. Like, you don't miss.
you.
When you're on a song, it's izokuthinte emanonini umuyilalela, you know? I would like to know, we've been hungry for a while. We're waiting for an album. Are you maybe working on an EP? Are you working on a forthcoming album? Like, when are you going to liberate us and just give us a full body of work?
Very soon. So I'm working on a 4-series project. It's called AZANA. And the reason why we decided to call it AZANA is because there is, to some people, there is a confusion on where do I fall in terms of genre and in terms of culture, because some people ngisho noma ngikhuluma isiZulu bethi, oh, we didn't know that you can speak Zulu.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Zulu girl. Oh my gosh. And then also another thing that I've realized when I do show my traditional side, but abanye uzama ukwenza sengathi traditional. Yeah, izwa leyo nto le. And it's so funny because what I am is what I grew up seeing and what I was taught at a young age. So we're going to put all the things that make uMakhosazana into this project, and hopefully people can now understand who I am and why I can do maskandi and pop. You understand? And why I mix these languages, music, and see me as that, you know, and not say, I'm so confused whether Azana is English speaking or Zulu speaking, you know, or if she's urban or traditional, you know. I'm not made by one. It's how ngizonitshela story sami ukuthi ngikhule kanjani. So in this 4-part series, I'll be doing 4 different genres. The first one...
4 different genres?
Yes.
That's interesting. Come tell me more.
I'll be doing Afro pop, which I started with. The Afro pop, that's what abantu abangaziyo, abaningi ngesikhathi ngisaqala bangazela yona. And then I'll be doing Afro tech. I'll be doing umaskandi because ngikhule sulalela umaskandi.
Wow, you're going to have some songs as a maskandi.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Umaskandi and soulful piano. And another thing, the reason why ngifuna explain is because also people think that I'm older than what I am. Soulful piano is done by my generation. People who do soulful piano are my age and older. So, abantu mabethi, oh, Azana wenza soulful piano. Oh, really? It's literally ngisamncane and abantu engizwana nabo, engibazi ngise studio nabo, ba producer loyo music. And who am I to say I don't want to be a part of that? You know, I love to make music, so I belong there as well. Umaskandi ngakhula sulalela ka next door ngangigadwa ka next door ka Anele kaBiyela. So sasilalelo ngafa lubala. So sikhule nje naloyo music loyo. I-Afro pop is a mixture of a lot of things. It's hip-hop yonke indawo, you know, and Afrotech is more of the modern side, but it into nayo futhi engiyithandayo kakhulu that I resonate with. So the first single for this project is Vumani, which we were talking about my late dad. It's a tribute to him, and we thought that it was such a great way to open up something so big and so spiritual and so beautiful. Ngento is sentimental, you know. So we did Uvumani, and I worked with Rory Diamonds, who is an upcoming artist who I think is going very far. And for this
Rory
project,
Diamonds.
Yes, Rory
He's
Diamonds.
on Spotify. Has he released before? Is it a she or a he?
It's a she.
It's a she. Okay, let me go
Yes.
to Spotify and check.
I also worked with a lot of other artists, both upcoming and mainstream.
Rory as in R-O-R-I or R-O-R-Y?
Rory
Okay, R-O-I-R-Y.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. With a Z or with a S?
With the Z.
With a Z, no?
Yes.
Oh, Rory Diamonds.
Rory
Okay.
Diamonds. Very talented.
Okay,
very
I've just
hardworking.
followed you, Rory. I can see there is Umhlaba. That's Rory's
Yes.
it's piano, ne?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So,
I'm gonna look out for your work, Rory.
yes,
Yeah,
please. Also look out for Ineso.
Put me on, actually. Tell me these
Yeah.
guys. So that's Rory Diamonds. Write them down. Somebody, guys, put it on the comment section. Write those names down. We'll pin it as a top comment there.
I have beautiful songs with the Abo Ineso.
Banqiniso.
Ineso.
Qiniso. Oh,
Qiniso. Yes.
Okay.
Ineso.
Qiniso ban.
Ineso nje.
Or just Qiniso.
Yes.
Qiniso. Okay. Qiniso Ntsele.
No.
Noma Qiniso Mabaso.
No.
Or just Qiniso nje.
Ineso. And she has a blue profile picture on Instagram.
No, I'm on Spotify. Has Qiniso released?
Yes, maybe she doesn't have a profile.
She doesn't have a profile on Spotify. I'm seeing abanye aboqiniso kodwa I'm seeing Imvula featuring uqiniso uyo no Kelvin Momo.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
So there's also VRSA.
VRSA.
Yes, VRSA.
We are putting on namhlanje VRSA.
Oh, Wesley. Oh my gosh, baningi. Smash SA.
No, VRSA. Yeah, Smash Nyamaze.
Yamaza Smash.
Angimjwayelanga as a person, but
Yes.
got from a distance, yeah.
Yes.
VRSA Chama boy.
Kmo Grills.
Okay.
Yeah. I've
Bani
worked with
say
all
that
of
again?
them. Kmo Grills.
Kmo Grills.
Yeah.
Okay. Kmo with a K, ne?
Mm.
Kmo Grills. At least I love what you're doing. You're plugging abanye abantwana. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
it's been amazing working with them.
Yeah.
And then there's also been amanye kama-artist enwaziyo ke kazobe ekhona kulama project enwathandayo.
Ngiyaxolisa ngicela usondele kancane ku-mic, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. There's also ama-artist abantu asebewaziyo. So in what I'm about to release, you're just gonna see a whole lot of izinto obungayi-expect, you know, nabantu futhi ubungaba-expect. Khona nophilano ukubo akanayo ke-profile. Uphilano
akakhiphi,
ufunda
okay.
grade 10
Usesemncane, okay,
yes,
sure.
so I enjoyed working with abantu abancane kunami futhi as well, as much as ngi-enjoy nokusebenza nabadala, but nabancane bangikhumbuza ukuthi ngubani. You know, so bekumnandi ukusebenza nabo. It's a mixture of upcoming artists and big artists all in one project, and it makes up AZANA, and it's different genres, and we were able to get people from different genres in South Africa to hop on.
And when are you going to put it out?
This year, in the
Okay.
course of this year. So the first project that is Upuma Ile Soulful Piano. because sesiqalile ngithi ngovuma and we soulful. So then expect a project from that, and then there's gonna be the next genre, which is gonna be Maskandi. Yes, and then the next one, then the next one, and then at the end of the year, it will be a whole project.
I get you.
Yeah.
So EP after EP after
Yes,
EP,
yes.
and then the whole project.
Yeah.
So you basically pretty much between now and summer, you're going to drop 4 different singles.
Yep.
That are different genres.
Yes.
Okay, ngiyakuthola.
Yeah.
So after the piano, have you guys decided what genre you're gonna come up with? You're gonna drop next?
It's gonna be Maskandi.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, don't be fooled by how she carries herself. That's why I think Njobe Trezelela, she has to always remind people that she's young. She's in her early 20s. Nama, I was actually shocked when I found out. I thought like you're a little bit older than you actually are. I guess because of your maturity and the way you carry yourself, right? Do you get that a lot? Do people tell you that?
I got that my whole life. I didn't know that it was because of that. It was always because of my height.
Oh, by the way, she's tall. She's tall.
Yes,
Yeah.
ngibuka ngimdala nasesikoleni babencama ukuthi ngimdala. Ngiyakhumbula ngelinye ilanga khona umuntu wangibuza ukuthi, how many times did you fail? And I was like, no, I'm your age. I'm not old.
And when you put on heels, you even become taller.
Yes.
Yeah,
you see, it makes it worse. But I was always taller, and I realized at a young age ukuthi when parents used to see me ngimude kuney'ngane zabo, abanye babengafuni ukuthi ngibe abangani ney'ngane zabo because they thought I was older and that I would influence their children to do izinto ekusengathi badala. Kanti cha ngiyintombazane ende efana nazo nje iy'ngane zabo ebifuna ukuba nabangani. Yayizwa lento engiyishoyo?
Yeah.
So I got that from a young age. I'm used to it. You know, it doesn't make me feel some type of way.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Earlier on, you said to me, musician and even actress. When would you like to pursue that side of you?
I've already tried to pursue it. There was something that we've shot that didn't air. I'm guessing it's because the show wasn't ayivunywanga or ayisitholanga space kwi-TV. But selokhu ngifile egoli ukuthi uthando lwami after ilokho lakhubazeka kancane yabo ngoba ngangiyifuna ngaleyo ndlela, and then I strictly looked at music ngathi maybe mhlawumbe uNkulunkulu ufuna ukuthi ngibe la okwamanje. But I've gone to a few auditions. I did get accepted for a role at some point. It just didn't air. But it's something that I'm really looking into and I want to pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see your sound doing well even internationally. So even with your acting side, would you want to explore that part of you internationally?
Yo, that would be so amazing. You know? I hope nalokho kungenzeka actually.
Because you also have got unique features.
Thank you.
You're like your melanin is popping. You're dark, you're tall, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're petekahle. And you've got an incredible voice. Like you don't miss when it comes to these songs. Do you know what I mean? So you're literally a triple threat. And I think that can open bigger doors internationally. Have you ever thought that far?
Yes, I have. It's just that ngesinye isikhathi ukuhlala kakhulu endaweni eyodwa because sithe South Africa ucine i-blanket iyakhava unganakile, and you need to hear those things ngesinye isikhathi ukuze uzolithi le blanket lase South Africa ukuthi ayothi ngiyayizonda South Africa. But I always say I hope one day ngingayitholela nje ingoma enkulu sike ngayitshena ngisho usange ngithi mina sike siphume nje sihambe nje like sihambe nje South Africa la bonke abantu abayitshena ukuthi siyabazonda la eSouth Africa bebona ukuthi asikho ngisho la. Like, we want to spread our wings, and that's why when we see other artists beyenza leyo nto yasivula nathi uthi we can also do it, you know, kungenzeka, you know. So it's not a dream of mine to end up endaweni eyodwa. I'd really like to spread my wings. Yeah.
They say that. They say sometimes when you explore outside of your comfort zone, uNkulunkulu even takes you to higher places. The same way you went to Blom, from Blom to Joburg,
You can
and
still
what you're
do
doing
it
now.
like this.
You can
You're
even do it,
right.
internationally.
You're
There's nothing
right.
stopping you.
Yes.
Yeah, everything is working for your own good.
Ngikuzwile,
Yeah,
siyabonga.
ngithola, ne?
Yeah.
One other thing that I'd like to ask is, you are intentional about ukukhuluma isiZulu. Is this how you've always been, or are you media trained? Ukuthi nangifika emakhamereni mina ngifuna ukuzi-expressa ngesizulu.
Oh
Ekubeni
my
uyasazi
gosh.
isilungu.
Oh my word. There was this there was this person engangizwana naye before wayehlezi ethi
Before the fame.
yes.
Ah,
And
no,
after
how do
then-
you fumble AZANA, bruh? How do you fumble a whole AZANA, bruh? Bruh. Anyway.
So he would then see me ngiya kwama interview, and Maya said to there's something that you do ma camera noma abantu you speak is Zulu. Ngicathi mina
You speak isiZulu.
anginakile
isiZulu siyakhulunywa, yeah.
ayazi anginakile, and also when ubukwa abantu, you do into easy kuwena. So what's easy to me is to speak into engikhule ngayo.
Comes natural.
That's why it comes so naturally, because also noma kuthiwa we believe lento le, but isingisi uyadinga usicabanga before usikhuluma.
Yeah. Nedatha
So
yakhona phela.
yes. So Zulu for me is natural. I'm not perfect with Zulu, but ngiyakwazi usikhuluma and ngisizwa kahle, but nakhona futhi nakwisingisi angikho perfect. Zowu2. Ngiyayiמיxa, and it's not even intentional. It's natural.
It's a very good skill to have when AZANA, because I've interviewed thousands of people. The very few people that come to mind who are intentional about expressing themselves in their mother tongue are very few out of a lot of the people I've interviewed. The ones that come to mind, Khona manje uMampentsha, may so rest in peace. Lala ngoxolo mfethu. I still visit your TikTok videos, like I still like uyangihlekisa bhuti wami siyakukhumbula. Kakhulu futhi, by the way. Mampentsha, Big Zulu, similar. Sjava, similar. And all these people are great in their own right. And there's other Betty artists and even actors and actresses, kakhulukazi abo sisa badala noma abo mama badala, who are basazi isilungu kodwa they're intentional about speaking their mother tongue. And I'd like to say it's a good thing.
Thank you.
It's a very good thing. You must keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, you must never always feel pressured to succumb to just always speaking isilungu, ngoba isilungu nasinokukhathaza jo.
Really?
Angeke uhlale ukhuluma isilungu njalo. Guys, no.
Yeah.
Nami radio, and sometimes ngokuphunyekela ngizithole sengikhuluma isintu, sekubuka nje.
It's so crazy how, for me, it's crazy how people even notice that, because I don't even notice ukuthi okay manje sekufanele ngikhulume isingisi, unless if you tell me prior ukuthi this is an English show.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how you just mentioned that, because people do it deliberately, that they don't want to speak their languages.
Yeah.
And they'd rather just speak English. Maybe it works. I'm not sure how it does. I even thought about it at some point too. Maybe if I spoke English throughout everything, or my TikTok, maybe mhlampe ngabe khona into eyenzakele empilweni yami enkulu, mhlampe khona ngabe idile ngiyitholile.
Right the way ungakhona, sikuthanda the way ungakhona.
I thought about that as well, because I look at the people that have certain things and have gotten certain things. Sometimes it's abantu abangayikhulumi language yabo. So it's so interesting that you touched on that, because I've thought about it before as well. I should say shuthi fanele kwenziweni ngikhuluma isingisi kuze throughout kuze ngizoba
Right the way ungakhona.
Thingthuli.
I'm actually impressed that you ukhuluma isintu more.
Okay.
Now let's
thank
double
you.
click on that language issue. Your songwriting. Are you intentional about the languages that you write, or a mixture of languages? Or I'd like to get into your thought process as far as language is concerned in your songwriting.
I would say when I was still doing my first project, I had just come from school, and because I came from an English speaking school, it was isingisi ngibhalile ngaso kakhulu kwi-album yami yokuqala, you know, ikade ngisimixa. And then emva kwalokho ngaphuma esikoleni ngagcina sengihlala ngedwa la eGoli. And abasekho phela abantu engizokhuluma nabo manje isingisi. Sengiyaqala ngiyayibuza umama engifonela ngikhuluma isiZulu. Mengibuyela ekhaya ngikhuluma isiZulu. Angisayi esikoleni. We don't go back to school now where we're speaking English. So I feel like that also showed in my music, because now I'm also growing up and seeing the things that esikhule sizenza, but now sengiya understand ukuthi indaba ubaba wayengithengela inkukhu mengiphasile. It was a way of saying congratulations, our traditional way at home. Now I understand it. Before it was something that was just done. So I think over the years, being out of school, I then got to connect more with my traditional side and my Zulu speaking side. So that's, now you're at a point where ubona mixture over the years. Because I also didn't used to be like this. I would say I was more on the English speaking side before I came to Johannesburg.
So this started around what age? Where they're teaching, you're trying to, or you're putting an effort to speak more Zulu? Or did it come from your parents maybe?
It came from the Zulu class as well, because I ngasithanda Zulu grade 10, 11, 12. But ngesikhathi sengiphumile esikoleni, awusekho good morning teacher. Sekusanibonani because sonke sila siphuma emakhaya. Senikhuluma into eyakini manje, yayizwa leyo nto. So ikhule ngesikhathi sengingedwa la. Noma sengibuyele ekhaya, because I spent a lot of time at school. Now ma sengibuyele ekhaya, uspenda usuku lonke ekhaya mawuphindele ekhaya manje. Usikhulumela nesingisi. Makho awukahle. Yayizwa lento le ngisho. So it was over time. Yeah.
That's incredible, because I'm a parent, so us as parents, that's the challenge. Our kids must learn their vernacular languages. But even though they learn them, they rather prefer speaking Islungu. So that's why I'm very impressed with the work that your parents have done. Well done.
Aw, thank you to them.
We're talking about songwriting. Sorry, ngathi ngidistepile. Bosangichazela ukuthi the inspiration around your different language. You said your first album was more English.
Yes, because I was 19 and I came from high school, fresh from high school. And bengingakhohlalila ngedwa ngathola nabantu aba deeply rooted nakhona la. So yes, it was natural to me to mix the two. Ngokuhamba kwesikhathi angisabuyela esikoleni, ngihlezi ngilana, I'm with my thoughts, I think, in Zulu. So what's natural to me is to write in Zulu. However, now what I like to do, and I did it with my single Uhaya, I like to focus specific songs on specific languages. So angiyithanda ingoma manje ezoba nesingisi nezulu, because there was a time where I really thought lengoma lengangiyenza at that time would spread so high, and that song was higher, and it did. Obviously sisaphila noma yini sangenzeka, but I wanted to reach to more people, and I'm realizing ukuthi nangesinye isikhathi ucula ngesiZulu ingoma iziphele uyayimboza ngale blanket as South Africa alone. And this is not entirely true, because it also depends on the sound. But when I did Higher, I intentionally wrote it in English because I wanted it to be an international song. I wanted people from Nigeria to understand what it was saying, you know. So now when I do write an English song, it's probably for that. Just know it's probably because I want to reach more people, you know. And then mengiyenza ngesiZulu, it's showing people abangayazi language yet how beautiful it is, even though they don't understand it. So they might think the music is beautiful, but they might not understand it, you know. So that's also the beauty of writing in English. It's not a bad thing at all, because you really get to spread your wings with writing in English. I could never say, hey, angisathanda ukubhala ngesingisi. I actually do, you know, because I know that it can do a lot as well, as much as music wesiZulu ongenzela izinto eziningi ngakhona.
Zex Bantwini says the Osama is no language. It means like it's just a mixture of beautiful melodies.
That's actually so interesting. That's beautiful. That's why everyone feels like it belongs to them, because it doesn't belong to anyone, you know? With Zulu, a certain person would think that it belongs to them because it's Zulu. Also with English even. Also with Spanish and Chinese or whatever, sorry. But yeah, so ingakho ngesinye isikhathi amahubo are so beautiful and important. And that was not a language, it was a feeling. You know, so I understand that. Maybe I should look into that. I think that's very interesting.
And then sometimes I'm sure you are more spiritually guided. Moya on that day or that evening when you're in the studio, you know, where it leads you, and then you just follow. And you go into the booth and your writing ends up just becoming whatever you didn't think it would be.
Yes.
You thought the song would be in English. Predominantly ngesintu than isilungu. Because songwriting differs.
It differs. It goes with the feeling. It goes with what you've been going through. When I go to studio and I make a song, it doesn't just come from thin air. Like it comes from a feeling, and into usuka kuyona. You know, yeah.
That's amazing. What else do you still want to achieve? I know you're still going to embark on your acting career at some point. You've got an album coming out now. You're still earlier on in your career. What do your goals look like? Where are you at age 35, at age 40?
Age 35, age 40, I really hope that, like how we spoke in the beginning, I hope that the music industry doesn't, I hope it doesn't break me, you know. I hope ukuthi uthando lami lo music liyohlezi lunje. And I hope izinto engizodlula kuzona angeke zize ziyenze ukuthi ngithi mina ngisawenza music, because right now the way that I look at things, like ngiyawuthanda music and I'd like to do it for the rest of my life. Kade ngilalela ingoma yaLethambula, and kade bebadala beperforma live, and it sounds beautiful, and
she passed on stage at the age of 73.
Exactly, is where I'm going. Like, when you listen to the music that they made at their age, you could tell that they've been doing it for years. That's why it's so perfect. Exactly.
Young as she still is, but you can hear the experience,
you know,
and the decades of hard work.
Yes.
You know?
So some people don't get there because of certain things, and I don't even know ukuthi kuzoyenzakalani empilweni yami moving on from now. But I hope ukuthi at age 35 uyobusa ngijabulisa music, you know. I hope ukuthi ngiyobe ngisakwazi ukuma phambi kwabantu, because abantu abazi ukuthi umusic ubuye ulethe ubuhlungu kwabantu laba abawenzayo thina, the ones that are making it. Sometimes it's not as easy as just releasing a song. There's a lot of things ezingenza ukuthi umuntu engafuni ukuwenza music. So I hope that I don't become a slave to my music. And by this, I don't even mean it like contractual, like my contracts kuphela. I hope ukuthi ngeke ngize ngibe a slave ku music, in terms of ngifisa ukukhipha music ukuze ngizobonakala, ngibone ukuthi ngisakhona and mina ngiu-AZANA. that is very draining, you know. So I hope ukuthi at that age ngiyobe ngirilesela music kamnandi, ngilalela, ngiperforma where I'm wanted and where I'm loved. You know, I don't want my music to drain me and my gift to be a burden. That's what I always think of when I think of the age 35 or 45. Just want happiness. Yeah.
Uyakhonza?
Ngiyakholwa.
Okay.
Ngiyakholwa.
Okay. For somebody ongasuye umZulu, what's the difference?
Ukukhonza phela ngithi ukuya enkonzweni. Masukukholwa is to believe. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
God has put you here.
I believe in a higher power, and I believe in uNkulunkulu phakathi kumina. Ukuthi ungaphakathi kumina, and he has everything. Well, I shouldn't have said that, but uyonke into eseduze
That's
kwami.
incredible what you've just said, by the way. Don't be apologetic about it.
Yes.
By the way, I believe same, eh?
And uyonke into eseduze kwami. You know, yeah, I'm a believer. Yeah.
uNkulunkulu akubusise, you're amazing.
Ngiyabonga.
Very proud of you. May the good Lord bless you, and congratulations to your family, your parents. Abantu osebenzisana nabo ngathi ningaphathana kahle. You are going very, very far. You've got a very bright future.
Thank you. I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
How has the industry been for you?
Ngikhulele kuyona. I mean, I started when I was young. It's been beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. It hasn't been easy to grow up in front of millions of eyes. But I've grown, and here I am. You know, it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the industry can be dark if you mix with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And you are easily swayed. Get into into the wrong world.
Yes.
I never drank alcohol up until I started drinking at age 30. So I did everything I did sober-minded.
Okay.
Up until around from age 30 years I started drinking. But still nakhona ukuyiphatha kahle kubalekile, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to see you doing well.
Ngiyabonga.
Because njengoba ngishilo sikhule sikubuka kwi-TV, so ukuba eduze kwakho manje and you look well, you know. Akekho umuntu onganazo inkinga, but you look well. You've been able ukuthi uyipush inqola izifike la. It's one of the things I think every artist uyayithandazela ukuthi may I be able to be in this space in a healthy way, you know, ngize ngifike la, because we go through a lot of as artists. So to say ukuthi umuntu ethi you are part of my childhood and today you're interviewing me and you very well.
It's a blessing.
It's such a big blessing, and for me it's a big thing, you know. So thank you for having me today.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Mtanseka. I'd also love to have you on the radio. You've got new music, so maybe we might organize one Friday where you can do us some sort of a performance live on air. Radio 2000 is a nationwide station, so we'll organize it with your team, and I'm looking forward to having you for my listeners on Radio 2000.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, and appreciate your time.
Ngiyabonga.
Your last words to our young people out there. Abo AZANA, abaseseikoleni, abasesemaBloemfontein.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening to my music. Thank you for streaming. My new song Vumani is out, featuring Rory. My projects are also coming out. And believe in yourself, and don't let other people tell you who you are. You know, it's important to know yourself and tell people who you are. That's very important. It will save you a lot of trouble in life. I love you so much. Mwah.
The last thing I'm going to ask you, same camera, you are speaking to yourself. I'm going to send you this video 20 years from today. You'll be in your 40s at that time.
Yo?
Yeah, so I'm going to send you this video. What would you like to say to your sister Loyana? You are speaking to your older self 20 years from today. What would you like to say to yourself?
Oh my gosh, Marco. Yo, I hope you're fine. And I'm proud of you. And you know what you want, you know. And I'm sure la uhleli khona usuyitholile leyo nto. And ngikufisela okuhle. And ngiyakuthanda. Akekho omunye umuntu engiyophinde ngimthanda okudlula wena. Ngiyakuthanda. Uyangizwa ukuthi ngithini? Ngiyakuthanda.
brothers and sisters, family, AZANA. Siyabonga. I'll see you on the next video. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you.
Woo!